Peace be with you, and hello! Today I'm going to show you how to stretch a canvas. For this video, I have included a ready-made frame that was pre-stretched. However, I removed the canvas and replaced it with a higher quality Italian canvas material. You are going to need a heavy-duty staple gun and staples that are water resistant, a canvas frame and canvas calico material. The staples should be long enough to penetrate the fabric and frame without piercing all the way through. Pliers or staple removers are optional if you make a mistake and wish to remove a staple. And finally, a fine spray bottle with water. To begin with, you want to ensure that there is plenty of fabric to fold over all sides of the frame, as you will be pulling at the material as you stretch it. I did have excess amount afterwards, but it is easier to trim away than to add to material. A key rule in canvas stretching: whatever you do to one side, you immediately do to the opposite side of the frame. This is going to ensure that the canvas material is stretched evenly. Also ensure that the area you work on is smooth and flat, with no debris that could damage the frame or canvas. I lay the fabric down flat along the whole frame, and in the center of the frame I place a staple. If you have never used a staple gun before, I recommend wearing goggles and practicing a couple times on your frame of choice. Notice how I'm keeping my fingers away from the staple gun. Once done, I can lift up the fabric to check the staple has pierced through the fabric and into the frame. I then turn the frame around, pulling on the fabric to make it taut before stapling it. If you don't pull it tight enough, then the canvas won't have been stretched correctly. If you pull too tight, then you will just flip the frame over. You just need to tug on the fabric a little to see it stretch and resist you slightly. Don't worry if you feel you have made a mistake. Just remove the staple and try again. This is what it should look like. Now do the same on the other two sides. Make sure to leave the corners facing upwards. You should start to see some creases in your canvas fade. By the end of the video, they will have completely disappeared. If you find a staple has not gone through, you can either lightly hammer it in or simply remove it and try again. You can then start to fill in the gaps and try to keep your staples in nice neat rows. Leave about 2 inches of room at each corner of your canvas free of staples. Okay, so here comes the more challenging bit. You want to ensure that the corners of your canvas are as neat and presentable as they can be. Often galleries and even buyers will check out the overall quality of your canvas, and if it is not neat, it may affect whether or not they are selected for showing on their walls or buying. You also want your canvas back to be as neat and flat as possible so that it hangs flat across the wall. To achieve this, you can do a so-called chambermaid's tuck method used to tuck in bed sheets in hotels. If you find a staple has not gone through, You can either lightly hammer it in with a hammer or simply remove it and try again. Feel free to make adjustments. Make sure the edges of the canvas material are not showing on the other side of the face of the canvas. Take one side of the fabric closest to you and line it up to the bottom edge of the canvas. Then check to make sure that the fabric furthest away is lined up to the top edge of the canvas corner. Once you are happy, lift up the fabric from the bottom edge and over to the top edge of the canvas corner to form a triangle. Finally, bring both corners back over and line it with the top edge of the canvas frame closest to you and staple it down. Repeat the process again on the other side, making sure the flaps face each other when stapled down. Be sure to check the staple has penetrated all the layers of material and into the frame. Repeat on all other sides. And there you have it. However, even though the canvas has been stretched, it is still a little loose. You can tell this by poking the canvas slightly with your finger. The canvas bounces back slightly. With a spray bottle, check to make sure the water is small, fine droplets before spraying the whole canvas face, paying attention to the edges of the canvas. This is going to cause the canvas to absorb the water and become taut as the fibers expand. You can turn it over and do the same on the back. Tap the canvas and listen to the sound it makes. If it sounds like a drum, you are on your way to stretching your canvas nice and taut. If it still sounds a little flat, you just need to keep spraying the canvas. You don't have to spray as much water as I did, and if you do, just ensure you have a towel or mop to soak up any residue to avoid slippage. I may have gone a little overboard for the purpose of the video, but a light spray over the whole canvas will ensure your canvas is stretched taut and get rid of any creases still left on the canvas face. There you can see the canvas springs back far quicker, and I can't prod it as deeply as before. Wipe away any water residue that has not absorbed into the canvas face. Once you think it is done, prop it to dry either on a drying rack or shelf until it is completely dry. And voila! Congratulations! You have just stretched your first canvas. Thanks for watching, and goodbye!